Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Planet Coaster. Today, we are going to be taking a look at Alpha 2, which has just released, bringing with it full coaster support, terrain editing, 4 new rides, a bunch of scenery, and a bunch of building items. Let's have a look. So if we start with buildings, as you can see, we have this lovely brick wall here, which I absolutely adore. This thing is going to be used so much for so many things that I end up building in the coming weeks and months in Planet Coaster. It also has a high curve, it has the half wall height, it has the low curve, which we'll just put that way. We have the regular slope. We have a station surround, and we have another station surround there, which is for the sort of lower end of the station. But there you go, that's the brick wall, which I absolutely adore. We also have things like the colored station surrounds, like so. We also have this lovely tunnel here, which is going to be super useful for a bunch of buildings and for, well, all sorts of things, really. But I'm really happy with this. I think it looks excellent. I cannot wait to use this to burrow through a mountain, which, believe me, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do. We're gonna be doing that. We also have auto stacking, which I believe, yes, means that these don't stack on top of each other automatically, which is very good news. It means I can double up on things like that, because why not? Sticking with buildings, something else worth mentioning is the fact that these tiled roof pieces no longer have the render wall beside them. Also, the render walls are now called stucco walls, but they no longer have that render wall section stuck onto the side of them. They are not just the roof section, which I'm so happy about, because you can just use them the way you could always use these roof pieces here. As you can see, I've put some sandstone brick in there. I will say, and this is sort of my only complaint about Alpha 2, not everything has a shallow slope. So the stucco wall has a shallow slope, which will work with these. The sandstone has a shallow slope, but the paneled stuff, the colored stuff, the brick stuff, and the wood stuff doesn't have a shallow slope. And I really wanted to use the paneling up here for this, or the brick, but I couldn't do it. Sticking with buildings, in wall extras, we have iron scaffolding column. We, of course, had this in the previous alpha. We have a section of that scaffolding which is half the size, and that's really, your scaffolding. We also had this, but that was in Alpha 1 as well, so that's not really news, but, I'll throw it in there anyway. We have jetties, which are going to be super useful for all those pirate parks that people love building. I'm sure looking forward to using this in Pirate Valley, in fact. This will be incredibly useful. We also have a jetty corner, which, again, quite excited to use this one. And we have a long section of jetty as well, as you can see. That is actually quite beautiful, and might actually be better utilized as a bit of a boardwalk rather than a jetty. I could see me absolutely using that for a boardwalk, but, well, we'll see how that goes. We might do it, we might not, I might forget, knowing me. We also have some stucco pillars, which are absolutely beautiful to look at. All sorts of them as well. We have those ones, all different. Actually, I do see the difference between number 1 and number 3 there. The base of them is different. Then the difference between all of them is, the top, and this one's different. This one's round. You got the idea. You also have the individual base there. We have the cap for one of them there. We have the middle section. We have a... What is that? What? I don't know what that is. That is... something. I actually don't know what exactly that is. But I think I like it. Can I just put that over wood pillar? I can. No, that's fancy. Look at that. That's actually really nice as well. Like, just sort of sticking that to a wood pillar, and it completely takes over the wood pillar and doesn't look like a wood pillar. I actually haven't seen this yet, and I think it's just become my favorite thing, because my pet peeve with Planet Coaster was always that I had to use wood pillars for corners if I wanted to do this kind of thing. I don't really have to do that anymore, apparently. Look at that. That is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful, and a really cool addition. I don't know if that's what they're for, but that's what I'm using them for anyway. So we've got that, then we have this base as well. We have another cap, and we have a longer middle section just there. So that's all of the wall extras. In terms of building attachments, I'll not go through everything here because there's quite a few, but we have an arched window, we have a narrow window, we have a new doorway, we have another new doorway, we have, I think that's new. Pretty sure that's new. I know this is new, and I know this is new, which is a doorway, by the way. It sort of looked weird through the stucco stuff there, which is stuck onto the building, which we'll get to in just a moment. So that's a bunch of new doors and windows that'll sort of work with the sandstone-y, piratey theme. We have balcony railing here, which is kind of super useful. We have, of course, the stone balcony right there, which I believe was in the previous version. And then we have the railing for the balcony, which you can sort of just chuck on there as you see fit, really. And that could actually look really good as a another little accent for things on a building. Like if I just sort of chuck that there, get a bunch of those about the place. I mean, it looks pretty good, yeah. It's a nice little accent. Kind of looks like a ladder on its side as well, which is kind of cool, so I'm okay with that. We also have I think this was in the previous one. I'm not entirely certain. We have another door there. I think that's an old one. Another nice grand door, a nice tall rectangular door, a wide door, and that's all in the stucco theme there. So if we get rid of those, we also got a new stucco window, which likes to center itself way too high. But there you go. That is a beautiful stucco window right there. Stucco, whatever it is. I really don't know. The wood balcony has been changed ever so slightly, as you may be able to tell. It no longer has the railing on it because the railing is a separate piece, which is something I'm sure everyone's going to be incredibly happy about because we no longer have to use the entire balcony if we just want the railing to stick out like that. We also have this host of new doors. As you can see, this one here is absolutely beautiful. It's a wooden door rectangular. We have the wooden door arch and the wooden door wide just there, which I absolutely adore. That would be good on a castle, so I guess I'm going to be getting towards building some castles at some point. Also worth noting is this guy, who I believe is new and is absolutely adorable. What are you punching the camera for? Get out of here. But yeah, we've got this guy sporting the Gulper t-shirt. Look at him. He seems very happy, doesn't he? And he's apparently going in to get himself a drink or a burger. Are you eating a burger? That's okay, that's new. So it used to be that when they would go to a Chief Beef, they would come up with like a pizza or Chinese or something. I think it was a pizza. I think the Chinese was like Roller Coaster Tycoon World, but I think they always had pizza when they came out of Chief Beef. So it's nice to see that that's changed. Also, pretty sure that's a new hat. When it comes to decorations, I spotted this, which is the stucco wall trim. I've used it at the ends of this building here, as you can see. And if you really wanted to, you could probably sort of panel an entire building with this, and it would probably look kind of interesting if you did that as well. So if I just go along here very quickly, I mean, you could totally panel a building with that. It's going to look a little bit, I don't know, sort of urban almost if you did that, but it is quite nice. I do like it. Now, can I get rid of all of those? I've just got rid of all the little bits of trim I did around that building, which is a shame, but at least I got rid of all the pillars that were sitting there as well. Anything else in wall signs? I believe there are some, because we have some new rides. We have the Insanity sign, which for some reason is being a bit insane, and sitting on its side. So I'll just chuck it there. That's the Insanity sign. We also have the... Is there another one here that I'm missing by any chance? It doesn't look like it. We have the Kickflip sign, which is actually a pretty nice sign. Magical Twirl is not new. We have the Psychola sign right there. And we have the Radius sign just there. Those are the new rides, which we'll be having a look at in just a moment. Oh, we also have the Venetian Carousel sign, but I don't actually think that's in the game. I'm almost certain it isn't, because I haven't spotted it. If we go to rides, I mean, we're about to go to these anyway. I've never spotted the We have the 360 Power, Forge, Genie, Hammer Swing, Insanity, which is new, Kickflip, which is new, Magic Twirl, which isn't, the Psychola, which is new, the Rocktopus, which isn't, Sky Ace isn't, Star Wheel, Sunflare, and the Aeronauts are not new. The Radius is new, the Screaminator, Victory, and Whirly Rig are not new either. So that's interesting. If I type in Venetian, or even Ven, nothing comes up. So I don't know, maybe there's another code in this alpha, maybe there isn't. I really don't know at this point. Moving on to rides, this is the Insanity, and if I speed up time just a little bit to get it going, you're gonna see it's actually quite a nice ride. It goes back and forth. I don't actually know if it spins. I haven't watched it for that long, so we will soon find out. I think we need oh no, it's going. I thought we might need a couple more people on there, but apparently not. So it starts doing this, goes back and forth, does its thing, actually has some pretty nice and accurate sounds to it as well, which is excellent news. But if I just speed things up a little bit, does it end up circling around? It absolutely looks like it. Yes, it does. Look at that. That is exactly the kind of ride that I tend to avoid because I don't like these kind of rides. I don't like being upside down or upside down whilst really high in the air. Moving on, the kickflip does this. It sort of spins around. You sit in those little things, and of course, it's stopping just as... Oh, no, it's not stopping. Okay, it's going back around. You sort of sit in these little pod things. They sort of rock about all over the place whilst the ride spins, and the pods also, occasionally, as you can see, flip upside down, which again, probably not my kind of thing. Once again, moving on, we have the Psychola, which, again, is a ride that spins you upside down. Fortunately, this one doesn't necessarily spin you upside down high in the air, so I could probably tolerate this one, to be honest, but I don't know. It is definitely a beautiful looking ride. It has this, that's not actually raised up or anything by me. That is just the way the ride looks. It looks like it's raised up, which I really appreciate. This actually reminds me of a ride in a sort of fairground near me, actually, that I've completely forgotten the name of, but it is very similar, except it doesn't actually spin you upside down. And the final new ride is this one, which is enormous, but is, of course, the Radius, which is currently open, just isn't moving. Ignore the roller coaster to the right. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Ignore the fact that it was going remarkably fast. I would like to see the Radius get moving, though, so that we can all see the Radius whilst it's moving. It is just a big Ferris wheel. Basically, it is absolutely enormous as well, but there you go, there's the Radius going. The wheel itself doesn't necessarily spin, the cars do, and it is quite a nice ride indeed. And as the sun sets, let's take a look at this roller coaster, which is a sight to behold. I'm gonna just take the front seat here, ignore the fact that there's a pillar in the track, just pay attention to the speed that this thing achieves, because it is certainly something. Any moment now, it's going to catapult us down here because it's a hydraulic launch coaster. Yeah. So this is a bit ridiculous. This isn't sped up. This is real time. And this is how fast this coaster goes. Oh yeah. And then suddenly it stops. Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. In case you didn't catch that, let's watch it from a cinematic point of view. Alright, so the coaster has just locked onto the line. It's about to launch. There's a nice cinematic camera from above where we might see it launch. I'm not entirely sure what's... Yeah, there we go. So the coaster launches. It comes around. It's gone pretty quick. It goes up and over. It comes down. And, I mean, this camera's not the best. That one's especially not the best one. But, I feel like it gives you a bit of an idea of how quick the thing's moving. Once again, just for one last time, I'll follow it this time, and you'll, again, see just how quickly this thing moves. Okay, so it's set off, it's coming around here. That's how quickly it goes up that incline. Again, this is real time, not sped up. You can see it coming around there super, super quickly. Coming around, braking next, doing all that stuff, and then just to make sure it snaps you back as you stop. That's because this is a hydraulic launch coaster, and this section of track from here the whole way to there is a hydraulic launch, and I'm going to show you just exactly how that works, because this has become my favorite coaster, because it's just ridiculous. It really is. It is the most ridiculous thing. We do of course have a whole bunch of coasters here. We have the vertical drop coaster, for example, which we could add in if we really wanted to. I'm not too interested in this, to be perfectly honest. But if you wanted to, you could add in this coaster. You could go quite high with it, again, if you really wanted to. You can, in fact, go vertical with it if you really wanted to. It's just that I don't particularly want to. I mean, I could do that. I could even go, you know, down into the ground if I really wanted to, because like I said, there's terrain editing. We haven't even looked at it yet, but if I really wanted to, I could continue this and have it go into the ground, like so. But again, I don't particularly want to do that, so we're not going to bother with that. What we want is the launched Sprint 500 roller coaster. So let's place this station, and then let's immediately go for a hydraulic launch. If we click more here, we can change the acceleration, we can change the delay, which will go for a 10-second delay. We can go for a target speed of 78 meters per second, because of course, I don't really want to pivot this thing, although I don't really know what that bank pivot height is, if I'm perfectly honest. I have no idea. The catch car return speed, again, not really sure what that's all about. Let's turn angle snapping off, and let's just immediately try and go vertical. Because I can, basically. Because I fancy making a vertical hydraulic launch coaster. Because I'm a bit of a swine, apparently. So let's see how high we can go with this thing. That is some significant height. That's about as high as we can go with a hydraulic launch coaster. Let's bring it straight back down then. We'll go like so. This thing is going to be reaching some serious speed because it's accelerating the whole way down here. It's, yeah, this is going to be interesting. Then what I'd like to do is suddenly turn it because I can. I'm curious to see what will happen, what it's going to look like as it turns like this. I'm going to put some sharp turns in here. I'm not building a realistic coaster, you might be able to tell. But we're going to do some sharp turns, and we're going to see what happens. So if I bring it around like that, and then I sort of straighten it out a little bit, like so, and then we bring it that way a little bit, then we'll just swing it around, and autocomplete, I suppose. Sure, that'll do. It's accelerating right up until this point. This coaster's only going to work once. That's probably worth mentioning. Because this little launch mechanism will follow it the whole way around and needs to reset. And then the coaster's going to have trouble because it can't launch. And it will try to before the little launch mechanism has returned. That said, I'm going to test this. I need to test. I need to test this thing. I need to see this. So let's just go to ride camera, seat camera, and again, this is in real time, and if it works, this is going to be ridiculous. It should work. It better work. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we're catapulting up into the sky, and then straight back down, and then, oh! That is some serious speed. And as you can see, the little launch mechanism hasn't actually returned yet, so the coaster is going to try and launch, and it's going to get to about there, and it's going to roll back because it isn't going to work. But I would like to end the test, then reinitialize the test, so I can just watch it from this angle. Because I'm curious. I want to see what this looks like. Because it's going to be something, isn't it? It's about to go, and there it goes. So it just catapults towards the sky, then back down. Oh my god, that's amazing. This is absolutely my favorite type of coaster. And now for the big feature, we have terrain editing. You might have spotted these mountains in the background. They are a bit terrible, but I built them, so that's why. This was all done with the terrain editing, which is actually pretty simple. You have intensity, you have size, you can lock to scenery and surface lock and all that stuff. And if I want to raise some terrain, I can go like so, and raise myself a bit of a weird hill. But it looks kind of cool. And if I click from this surface, it sort of raises it out from that surface, which is also kind of cool. If I really want to, I can actually lock to that surface, and that is the only surface that I'm not going to be editing from whilst I'm holding down my mouse cursor. Now let me just try and fill up my screen a little bit here. We'll go out to there, we'll come down to there, we'll go this way. And over to... oh, just over this way a little bit. Let's keep going, just like so. Then we want to go down, like this. Filling out a 2K monitor is apparently going to take a moment. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do it because the terrain's down there, but that's fine. So if I do this, then I come over this way, Does it automatically? It does automatically do a tunnel. Ooh, isn't that fancy? Look at that. Automatically does a tunnel, and there we go. That's a mountain. That's okay. I can... Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's really cool, actually. If I hit Control-Z once, it undoes like a little bit. Oh, that's weird. It actually has like just a weird morphing thing. Then if I just spam Control-Z, it just undoes the whole thing. That's really weird to look at, isn't it? Anyway, this little lump of land here is actually useful because we can push through it if we so desire. If I go to size down to like 4 meters, I can actually just push a hole right through this hill. And I should probably turn surface lock off to do this so that it goes a little bit quicker and a little bit easier. But there you go. That is, in fact, a hole that I've managed to push through the terrain there, which is actually really cool. And what's also interesting is I can't actually clip into the terrain. So if I want to work in this space, I do need to fill it out a little bit more. So there we go. If we just do this kind of thing, you can basically build yourself a pirate cove in whatever you want to build it in. So let's go ahead and use this one, which is flattened foundation, which I'm not actually sure about. I don't know how that works. I feel like it might be a case of flattening to the height of a ride's foundation, and I guess we can test that. If we go for the insanity, place it there, go to terrain, and if I say flatten to foundation, I don't actually know. I really, really don't, because I can't really flatten to that surface either. So if I raise that up to there, then I click flatten to foundation. It seems to do that, but if I also click flatten to surface, it sort of does the same thing. And I really don't know what the flatten to foundation, I don't know what the difference is, because this one sort of flattens land like that, and this one does the same thing. So I'm really curious. The chisel tool is also an interesting one, because I can sort of chisel away at land like this, which is a beautiful effect. I really do love that. And then of course we have a smooth tool to just make everything look a little bit pretty. So we'll go ahead and just smooth all of that out. In fact, let's just undo this because I love how this looks. Look at that, it's so weird. That really is so strange. Oh my god, that's amazing. That really is just amazing, and I love it so much. That's the terrain editing, ladies and gentlemen. There is of course terrain painting. If I wanted this whole thing, for example, to be made up of stone, I can make it so, as you can see. The entire thing is now stone. If I want a different type of stone, I can also make it so. If I want the whole thing to be made of sand, if I want the whole thing to be made of grass, or if I want a sort of natural progression from grass to stone, I can do that as well. Because Planet Coaster. Because I can. And because this is just scary and ridiculous and amazing. Also worth mentioning, there are some new paths, natural paths at that, which I really love. I really do. Because you can do stuff like this with the natural path and sort of just have it just flow. It's just a little space of little things like that. I can go with this one, or I can go with this one. We'll go with this one and sort of just carry it over this way and connect it to, we'll connect it to there and see if people use it. Yeah, they will. And there you go. So we have a natural path. If you want your park to look a little bit more rustic and rugged, you can, in fact, make it so. If we wanted to... I wonder if I could get a path through that tunnel. I need to try this, because I know you can raise the natural pathways up, which is strange, honestly. It is a bit strange, raising your natural pathway up, but I need to see if I can legit make this happen. So we're going to go from there, and we're going to go like that. Then I want to go sort of there. Now that's going to tunnel through, isn't it? No, it isn't. Well, that was a mistake. Okay. Hold on a second. Give me length 1. Then let me just bring this back a little bit. Like that. Then give me... I need to be able to bring this through the hill. I really do. I need this to happen. But I don't think it's going to want to happen. Oh, hold on. Oh my god. Oh, it's happening. So that goes there, and there, and there. Oh my god. This is actually working. This is ridiculous. Then let's go down a little bit, then flatten a little bit, then there. And then I want to fly the stairs, because I can. So let's go length 5 and flight of stairs. There you go. That's going to be hell for anyone that doesn't like stairs, but if you want to get a quick way through to this part of the park, you're going to be going through the hill and using some stairs. There we go. You can also change the texture of your pathways really easily, like so. Now, is anyone going to use that? Oh, hold on, I think they're gonna. Yeah, they're using it. Look at that. Amazing. Oh, that's so cool. I just want to speed this up to see people going through that tunnel. How cool is that? We've got a little weird tunnel thing that they're actually using. And apparently not hitting their heads in anything either. That's awesome. I'm so overjoyed with this update, ladies and gents. And I think that is pretty much everything there is to cover. There are a couple of new scenery objects, as I mentioned. In fact, that is not everything there is to cover. There's some really important stuff in here. So we have some props. We have a recycling bin, because of course we do. We have this guy, who is a firing animatronic redcoat, as you can see. So he's just going to stand there and repeatedly shoot his gun. We have this one, who is just a redcoat that's guarding. And we have a patrolling redcoat as well, who can go back there. And as you can see, he is he's doing his thing. All animatronic, all very interesting, all absolutely awesome looking. And I just spotted the guarding one scratch his butt, which is amazing. We also have a wrecked ship's hull, which is new, which is quite cool. We have this campfire, which actually gives off light, which we'll get to in a moment. So we have a nice campfire there. We have wooden ladder short, wooden ladder long, and we have some driftwood branches and driftwood plank, and a short one as well. And of course, an exploding barrel, which, yeah, does that. So we can put a bunch of those down if we really wanted to. And they will, they'll all do their thing. So let's get rid of some of those guys, because we have some more things to look at. We have nature, which has a green leafy bush and a miniature conifer. We also have a red leafy bush, as well as a white floral bush and a yellow one as well. So that's some new plant life. We also have some rocks, which, I mean, I'm very happy about. So we'll get rid of those as well. That's all of that new nature stuff. Any new signs? I don't believe so. We have got the basic burger veg now, which is very important if you want to build yourself a nice big burger. But the most important thing, VFX. They added VFX, and I'm so happy with this. We have bubbles. We have confetti. We have electrical grids, and then a medium electrical grid. We have an electrical rod. We have a longer one. We have electric sparks. We have an explosion. That thing's certainly something. Let's see the explosion again. There it is. That's the explosion. We have a fire pit. We have a small fire pit. We have a small fire. We have a flamethrower, which are all giving off light you might be able to sell. We have a flamethrower burst. We have large smoke, medium smoke, and small smoke. Which, again, I'm incredibly happy about because I've been using the firing cannons to get this stuff. We now actually have smoke. We have sparks. We have sparks 2 and sparks 3. We have steam, large, medium, and small. And we have a intermittent water jet with a intermittent water jet and a large water jet and then a small water jet. We have VFX. Ladies and gentlemen, some of it is fire, some of it is smoke, but I really, really love all of it. It just looks absolutely incredible, and I'm so happy that that is actually a thing. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is Alpha 2 for Planet Coaster. Alpha 2. That's amazing. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you kindly, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.